Buddy, I think we're stuck. Well, it goes to show you, if you throw enough Nissans at the problem. All right, today's video is all about wiring up a winch on a cheap Nissan Pathfinder. Oh, and you sharp-eyed viewers out there will notice, this is not the Pathfinder we're talking about. I'll tell you the story once we get into her. I know some of you guys are waiting to see me wire up the winch on the front of the Cheap Finder. And it's been 10 months and I've been driving around with an unhooked up winch on the front of the thing for looks. And well, yesterday, me and the boy decided to go for a little rip in the woods and we got properly stuck. So the Cheap Finder spent the night down in the forest. And I was thinking about getting the Pathmaker, dragging it up to the shop this morning and whatnot. But you know what seems like a much better solution? Let's fire up another Nissan and bring it down there with the tools and hook it up in the woods. This is a bad idea. We might end up with 2 Nissans stuck in the woods. Let's get this winch going. First though, we'll get you guys caught up and bolting up that winch while I see if this thing fires up. Put some air in the tires. This is such a terrible idea. In typical me fashion, I'm not just going to the store and buying a winch because I'm a cheapskate. But I bought this beauty winch off of Nick. This was the winch that used to be on the Nothing Fancy buggy. We're going to scab it onto the front of the Cheap Finder today. And then we're gonna have to go test it. Are we gonna rip the front bumper off? Probably, honestly, pretty likely. In typical me fashion, I threw this winch right up on there. And the very first thing I learned is that my bumper hits. Like most projects around here, it's gonna have to start with a little bit of angle grinding. No such thing as problems around here, boys. Only solutions. Bolted the winch up. I'm gonna find myself a fair lead. And now I gotta figure out the wiring. If I was really smart, I would have actually written down or taken a look at what these posts were, because Nick has them labeled. I think we've got an R, a blue, and I think that one's yellow. And we'll see if we can make this winch come in and out. Well, while we're working on the bumper, I also gotta cut out some of these. Now, I know a lot of guys with old school Nissan Pathfinders and Nissan hardbodies have broken, cracked, missing cowl vents. So, with the new plasma table, we're going to start offering up various designs of cowl vents for these old school Nissans. So if your rig looks like this, head on over to my website. I'm pretty stoked on how these turned out. Enough messing around with the plasma cutter. Let's get back and getting this winch mounted up and running. Because it's 10 months after I bolted the winch on the front of the Cheap Finder and I still have not hooked up all the wiring. Let's head down in the woods, wire up this winch. Before we get too far though, we should probably make a camera mount. This is fine. Man. So how did we get here? Well, yesterday, me and the boy decided to do a little yard wheeling. And took the Cheap Finder down in the woods. Fridays for the boys, right? We really don't want to get body damage. We drive this one on the road. Hey buddy, I think we're stuck. Well, this has been a terrible idea. We can't make it up there. And we can't make it up there. What did we do? We got stuck. What I forgot was that the last time I wheeled down in these woods, Cheap Finder, I had the 34-inch Super Swampers on. And well, yesterday I had the 31-inch Toyos on instead. So we got her down into the creek and we got her real proper stuck. I can physically move it, but I can't get it out the hill up onto the berm or back onto this trail. So the poor Cheap Finder spent the night in the woods. And now we're gonna head down the trail here with my tools. Gotta make sure they're still there. And see about wiring up the winch that we've been driving around as a hood ornament for the last almost year. Now, believe me, the thought is going through my mind about how this is kind of like you know, in school when someone would get the ball stuck on the roof and then everyone would like throw their ball up on the roof to knock the ball down, and then you'd end up with multiple balls stuck on the roof. Yeah, we definitely might end up with another Nissan stuck in the woods here. It was a little hard on her trying to come up this hill. Now I know, looking downhill it doesn't look so bad, but it's pretty steep. Oh man, we're about to get this one stuck at the bottom of this hill too. There's the old majestic steed. Let's see if we can get this winch working. Get out of these damn woods. So we put the winch on that we got from Nick. Thanks, buddy. He also, at the time, gave me the nothing fancy blue solenoids. And I was working on hooking those up, working on it. And then Riley was selling some spare contactors. And since it is 2025 after all, figured I'd use a contactor. So this is the way more common way of hooking up a winch these days than the old scabby solenoids. And let's hook this thing up. Now I sure hope I brought everything I need. But let's get this figured out here. Oh yeah, that looks the perfect length. How long? Real long. Part of the reason I do this too, because I love in the comments when people say, oh, I can't do that, I don't have a shop, I don't have the tools. Yeah, you can. You can do whatever you set your mind to. You don't need a fancy shop. You just need some basic hand tools and a can-do attitude. Now, if I'm really dumb, I'll hook this up right now. But we probably don't want a hot positive. So let's work on some of the other wires first. It's got to be good when you see you're pulling out the Power Fist. That's a Princess Auto, which is Canada Harbor Freight. So meaning this whole set's like 30 bucks. You know they're real good quality then. It'll be fine. I know, internet, I should route this nicer. But for now, trying to get ourselves out of the woods here. And yeah, I should be shrink wrapping them, and I should be blah, 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 blah. Don't even worry about it. You want to shrink wrap your wires? You shrink wrap your wires. I'm proud of you. Oh, you're such a hack. You're such an idiot. Tell me something I don't know. Oh, and you gotta love this too. It was minus 14 last year, and broke my door handle off. You don't need a door handle. Oh, and look at this minty routing job. Perfect. Now let's just finish hooking everything up under the hood. See if this thing's gonna work. Also, I like how I say I'm gonna wire this properly later. We all know that's a lie. But if you're gonna get mad about the way I do things here, well, you don't understand what Project Cheap Finder is all about. It's just doing the bare minimum. Get out in the woods. Now another pro tip when you're wiring the hot lead, do this end first, not that end, because this turns into a welding rod if you hook the other end up first. All right, moment of truth. All right, I got something hooked up wrong. I think I've got it all hooked up right here. I think what my problem is I've got a 3-pin momentary switch there, and I actually need a 4-pin momentary switch. And the connections on my winch posts are super rusty and grody because this winch has been sitting out in the weather. So we're gonna go back up to the house, get myself some a wire brush, some sandpaper, a wrench, and we're gonna steal the winch switch out of the Pathmaker and see if we can get this goddamn thing out of here. But you know what that means. It means we better drive this thing back up the hill. Looking at this, I'm pretty skeptical that I'm getting this thing up the hill. I don't know if it's gonna happen. I also don't want to make this too much worse. I'm not gonna be able to get the Cheap Finder up out of here. See how this is gonna work here, boys. barb rocket. This is not going well. Like, when I started this, I was like, I'm just gonna one-shot up here so I don't make a big mess. 15 tries later. Okay. God damn it. That was just terrible. Well, if the question is, you can be able to drive back up there? Apparently the answer is no. Oh, that? You don't have to worry about that. I have to worry about that because the tire's gonna be flat for too long, but if anything, we're actually further away from getting this thing out of the woods now. Walk shame, back to the shop. Oh my god, this is so terrible now. There's no way the cheap finder's going up there, even with the winch working. Oh, I dicked her. God damn it. Got myself a wire brush, some sandpaper, cleaned up all these contacts. Most importantly though, I stole the winch control from the Pathmaker, because I think that was one of my big problems. Moment of truth here. We got it all hooked up. Everything's hooked up properly. Cool. The question is this winch just unhappy after spending a year out in the rain? That's how you wire up a winch. Like a moron. I don't know what's going on now. One of the problems when you're using janky stuff is while you're using janky stuff. That thing's pretty much got a flat tire now, so things are getting worse, not better here. Well, I put my multimeter on the studs on the motor, and we're not getting enough ohms between them. We're not getting enough continuity. So I'm guessing this winch is not happy about sitting out in the rain for the last 10 months and not being used. So I gotta pull this thing apart, clean it, but we're not doing that in the middle of the forest. We get to do another walk of shame and go back up to my rig, put that winch switch back in, bring the Pathmaker down, and get the wife involved, get both of these crappy Nissans winched up that really big steep hill right there to get it out of these woods. Ah, sucks to suck, boys. Stupid guy. Now we're stuck. Cool. Well, the solution to this problem was clearly to bring in more Nissans. So we brought the big guns. It's up the hill, some winch rope running down around this tree. And I also noticed, apparently I lost my exhaust. We're not worried about that right now, because what I need to do is spin the tires, drag the front end over here. Actually, I need to get this damn thing out of the way first. Well, you think we can fit through there without rubbing, smearing along there? I don't know. Nope. Let's go take a look. Oh yeah, smeared that door. Started out as a nice little trip with the boy. We got Miss Pathmaker and the boy up top there. Oh yeah, we're starting to go. There it is. Gotta give it up for Mrs. Pathmaker for being game to help out. Okay, start winching in. Now we gotta go walk up there, regroup the Pathmaker, and rerun this winch rope. Well, I think I would be not doing myself a favor if I didn't at least try to drive up at once. Since we're here for driving, not for winching, let's see if we can drive up this thing with a flat tire. Well, that was pretty close. Oh, it's finally the first good news all day for the flat tire and everything. Oh, exhaust. We'll just, whoo, she's a little warm. We'll just put this in the back. Well, that was the first win we've had all day. This one's not driving up there. We're gonna pull the cheap finder up and then winch her home. Just hook up your winch in the woods, he said. It's gonna be great, he says. Idiot. Let's see if we can get this out of here somewhat gracefully. This old girl's had a hard day. Yes, we're winning. Well, it goes to show you, if you throw enough Nissans at the problem, you can get out of the woods. Let's get all three of these back at the shop. Tomorrow we're actually going wheeling, but we'll get the cheap finder winch taken off. Hopefully we can figure out what's wrong with it, so you guys can actually get to see the winch work. On a real quick look, looks like I put more damage in the cheap finder in 200 feet in my yard than I did in 2 entire trips for the Whipsaw Trail. So we've got no exhaust and a flat front tire, and it feels something hitting my floor. It's fine. Hard day at the office yesterday for Team Nissan. We got a flat tire, we got no exhaust. Oh, and the cloth back seats look like this. I broke a lot of stuff. I don't know if I'm driving on the road anymore because it's got dents in every panel, missing lights on the other side, and well, it might be too heat score to be driving on the road. But because I broke these things yesterday, well, it was time to take out this Nissan today, and well, I blew my 6 Daimler 300 in that thing. So we're gonna pressure wash all 3 of these hunks of garbage, and we'll pull this thing close to the shop, not into the shop. We'll get that winch apart, we'll clean it up. A little bit of success. We'll see if we can get this damn winch working.